Of Getz joining us right now on the Harbor One hotline from Miami. It is the owner of the Boston Celtics, Wyc Grousbeck. Wyc, congratulations.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's a good feeling to be here in Miami, or we would have taken Philly or wherever. It's good. It's good to move on.
Yeah, I was going to ask about when it comes to expectation as an owner. Wiggy talks a lot about this team, and he feels like they have. When it comes to house money or overachieving, they've accomplished a lot, and he's pretty happy with what they've done. Do you have an expectation every season going in for a team and where they need to end up? And if so, what was yours for this team this season?
Now, it's a different way of thinking about it that I have, which is it's a hope. Instead of sort of saying this will be good enough or this is the expectation. I guess I have hopefully have realistic assessments of the team, but there's always the hope that things go great, and there's always the possibility that they go terribly. And being in here in the league for 20 years, I've seen, both sides of that. And so you just go and you say, look, what can we do to make the team competitive, contend this year? And can we be set up for a longer run than that? Not just, one and done kind of thing. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Wyc, when you always talk about Ime, one thing I've kind of noticed, just like, as I'm a basketball fan and I watch how teams interact with their coaches, is that it seems like this team really buys in and interacts well with Ime. Is a large part of that because this guy is a former player, but the way he came up, guys really respect that?
I think there's just a lot of authenticity, a lot of strength there and accomplishment with Ime, and it wasn't ever handed to him. It wasn't so I guess that's what you're saying. He's a grinder. He grounded out and made his career. And now he's got our team playing that way, sharing the ball, playing the right way, playing hard, hard, tough-nosed defense and all that. And so I think that reflects him a lot. And I'm in there, after the games, hearing him talk to the team, after a win and, how they look forward to the next one. I hear the direct interaction and see the direct connection he made in the players. It's really very impressive.
Wyc, when it comes to Tatum, obviously he's just been incredible since you guys got him. But leadership-wise, for me, I've seen such growth on the court, whether it's talking to players in a huddle or players talking about what he said to them off the court. Have you noticed that his leadership role has really grown, especially during this postseason?
Yeah, I think I said last time we were talking, he is definitely leading, but I also felt like I went through the whole starting five. And you can go through the whole 8 rotation guys, and they're all leading in their own way. I mean, it's not a participation medal for leading. Everybody really is leading. But anyway, they're doing it by trusting each other, by sharing the ball, by having each other's backs. And then when we need a rebound, you see these guys skying in there. If a rebound has to be corralled, if it's not Horford who's leading the team in rebounds, it's Smart, it's Tatum, it's Jalen, and they've all made, and it's Derek White last game, big rebounds. Everybody's in there leading in a sense. So I don't view this as a team with one leader, obviously, and then a bunch of followers. It really isn't that way.
You bring up Marcus Smart. I know he's listed as questionable for tonight. Have you talked to him? Do you know how he's feeling?
Yeah, I walked into the elevator with him last night after we flew down here, and I think we just have to leave it as questionable. With these things, you always wake up and you see how you feel, and you go through shoot around and see how you feel, and it can be as late as the game time decision.
Wyc, you look at this series here, and I know you won't say it because obviously, you got to be politically correct. But
he might say it.
I'll say it. Paul Pierce tweeted it out in round 1 that Tatum surpassed Kevin Durant, and I felt like in round 2 we saw Tatum surpass Giannis as a complete all-around player that can kind of do everything. When you look at Tatum, do you feel the same way? And I'm not taking nothing away from KD or Giannis. They're great players. But do you feel like watching Tatum play against those guys, the things that he can do has put him, in my opinion, on another level?
Well, yeah, I'd agree with that last part, especially Wiggy, which is he's got tools in the bag or whatever. He's got skills that take him to that level that, you rarely see. And so he's at the very highest rank of that. But I really I really want to say I didn't look at the Nets series as, a guy versus a guy. And when you saw how we swarmed Durant and made it difficult, that's multiple guys. And it's the same thing when Giannis was coming down the court. He saw Al Horford with his arms out completely wide, and then he saw like Williams and Brown or Williams and Tatum right behind. I mean, he's got three guys just walled off. Is walled off all the. So I just don't see it as one-on-one. I do remember the Game 7 in 2008 where Paul really did kind of go against LeBron. And that was a little more maybe one-on-one, but then who hit the winning shot? T.J. Brown, So, it's more than one-on-one.
Wyc, I know I don't like to be the bearer of bad news or sad thoughts on such an optimistic day, but why are the games starting after 8:30 every single night? Is it just that the networks get more viewers? Is that the only reason? Because I feel like you lose out on some of the younger audience.
Yeah, well, you might, except these days I think they all stay up till midnight, but that's my personal experience in my family. But it's definitely TV ratings because out west those are at 5:30. And these are really national games. This is the Final Four of the NBA, and people beyond the Eastern, seaboard want to watch the Celtics. By the way, everybody's watching us now. I mean, they're sort of like, what is going on with this team? It's amazing to watch, and it's great basketball to watch. But against the Heat, legendary team, and we're on the road. So anyway, they're going to watch this across the country. So it's 5:30 out there, and they're still, haven't even had dinner yet. So we're just trying to make a compromise, I guess.
We were wondering yesterday how Deuce stays up. Does he get a nap in, or how does that work?
He seems to have a good amount of energy and a good amount of confidence, that kid. So I would never bet against Deuce doing, accomplishing anything.
How important in your mind is it to win tonight? Curtis was talking about the team that ends up having home court winning this first game. Is that in your mind an important one? Or this team to me is able to come back, and I'm really impressed by that. So I don't know that it matters much, but is it really important tonight, you think, to win this game?
Well, we just came from a series where we had to come back 3 different times. Our the first lead change as it was Game 7. And so enough of that. I'd like to, go ahead and, I'd love to walk out of there 1-0 tonight. That's just, you can't say it's do or die, but boy, it's going to change the whole series, which way it goes.
Yeah.
Wyc, one of the things that I truly believe, and I know the Celtics have, is the real advantage of home court. You'll be down there in Miami, and Miami, like fair weather fans, half the arena will be empty through the first half. But when this team comes back to Boston, I've been at a couple games. I'd like to, be at some other games. Courtside, I know Kraft and Pierce and Nelly all sit next to you. But if you can kind of maybe make some room for me, I'd really.
We squeezed in Mac Jones the other day. Sorry, Wiggy. I guess we just had you on the list.
Well, that's all right. But if you have an extra seat.
The problem with you and Wyc seats is you require 2 of them.
That's all right.
So
I'll take a half a seat.
Stop it.
I'll take a half a seat. But when you look at the home court advantage, how much of a true advantage is that by being in those arenas all the time? Is it for the Celtics when you play a game like this against a team like Miami?
Right. Well, as a former player, exactly what it means, much more than I would. But I got to say, there was a fan clip on YouTube. I love looking at them after these games. That was Tice blocking Giannis and then Smart grabbing the ball, passing it to Horford. But it was a fan shot from an iPhone from up in the stands, and the noise and the crowd, it's 10 times more than anybody's just watching the games on TV, even things, because it's very muted on TV compared to this. You guys should really Google the clip, you get the sense. Anybody that's watched the games only on TV, it's 10 times louder actually in the arena. It's actually even more insane and even more impactful. It's even more meaningful to be on our home court.
Speaking of Robert Kraft, did he happen to tell you who the offensive coordinator is for the Patriots?
Well, all I know is it's not me. No, it's not me. That's my only. I don't have the info. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. It's Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm sure that those guys and everybody in the organization knows that work is not done yet. So we're looking forward to it. I appreciate you taking some time this morning. How does it work superstition wise? Do do you only celebrate with Sincoro after a win, or how does that work?
Well, we do have some here. No, sometimes it helps get the win. I've noticed there might be a little bit before the game and maybe a little bit at halftime. It's helpful all the way through. I've got some down here. Man, when you texted me and said let's do a Miami show, I literally thought you were coming in for the show.
I wanted to,
realizing it's radio.
No, I wanted to do a show. I think that this company, not unlike the Celtics, we have spending limitations here. So my hope was that maybe by sending that text, you would pay for the whole entire show to fly down there, and we could do the show in Miami.
I tell you what, though, I do have a seat for you on Thursday night if you make it down. So just let me know.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
And some Sincoro.
Well, we have.
Hey, it's like you just won the contest.
Well, let's be clear about this. Seat with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
We have unlimited flex time vacation now here, Wick, and maybe I'll just go down there Thursday,
Right.
go to the game with Wick.
Right.
You're such a team player.
I'll do the show.
Yeah.
I'll do the show somewhere from Miami on Friday morning.
The game's
Selfless.
the game's in Miami, so there'll be plenty of seats available.
Wiggy,
You know
come
what,
on.
Wiggy? If you look at SeatGeek, you look online. The court sides are 20,000 apiece.
Ooh.
Really?
Listen, we only have.
There may be a lot of Celtics fans down here, but I think this Miami crowd is pretty revved up about the Heat this year. So I think we are in the late arriving crowd thing and everything else. I think we are going to just put all that stuff aside and just see what happens tonight. Let's just go beat them.
Wick, if I were you, I would ensure that you meet Greg and escort him into the stadium because he may try and sell the $20,000 seat.
No, we don't. No, these are not court sides. We're sitting for good luck. I usually sit a few rows up on the road. I actually like it better. I don't have to go and try to show off in somebody else's building. So,
But
we'll have great seats.
What if I sat courtside and then you were a couple rows back up or whatever?
You know what? I'm 100% fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that.
And is that like Courtney's wedding? Does it come with a +1, or is that just me solo?
Man, I literally have a block of 4 good seats, and there's 3 of them filled. So I got to give you the one.
All right, I'm in.
Well, you're our only max guy, so you'll be down there.
Yeah.